Mike's Daily Podcast.
All right, we may or may not have some interruptions during the show because
Mike's Daily Podcast.
My lovely lady friend is getting some Mexican food today because there's a game you may have heard of, but I can't say the name because someone's going to sue me because they listened to the podcast and they're going to go, you said Super Bowl. Oof, oof. I mean, the game that's going on, the big game. Yeah. That right now, as of this moment, let's freeze it in time.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's San Francisco, behind by 4 points. Yikes. It's 20-20, 24-20.
Mike's
something like that.
Daily
I don't know what's going to happen.
Podcast.
There'll be someone who wins.
Yeah!
There'll be sad people in the Bay Area or happy people, and we'll never, ever get to sleep. But all I know is my lovely lady friend needs some hot jalapeno soup. And she is not pleased with Jennifer Lopez. She represents Puerto Rico when she is convenient to her. It is convenient. That's when she represents them with her feather boa shawl, Puerto Rican thing, flag. I don't know. All I know is that I'm happy to bring this podcast to you every single day. Except for when I'm interrupted. Hey, I'm using Anchor.fm to help promote this show a little bit better, the podcast. Perhaps you're listening to me for the first time because you are using that. If that is the case, I just got a message from my lovely lady friend. Let's see what she said. It says, would I eat Burmese? Okay. Yes. There we go. That answers that question. Get anything you want. That's the kind of boyfriend you want, right? Get anything you want. Because I'm doing my podcast now, and I don't really have time to get too involved with this. But I do have to tell you, last night was not very fun.
And here's today's podcast picture.
In fact, I took the podcast picture while I was having sort of a sad moment. You can see that picture now at MikesDailyPodcast.com, all the past podcast pictures. I was over there at Lake Merritt, and it was a nice, beautiful evening. I'll try and get a picture with the moon in it. I don't think I'll be able to. No. Okay. And why on earth do I keep taking screenshots of mine? Oh, right. We're getting Burmese. Yeah, what happened was Basil. I tried to take Basil on a nice little walk in Montclair. I'd never taken him to Montclair. I have never been to Montclair. It's in the hills above Berkeley. No, Oakland. We're not quite in Berkeley yet when you're in Montclair, but we walked around that little Well, I wanted to walk around a little downtown. Basil is at this age now where he's like, no. Thanks, Mike. That's very nice of you, but no. You could hear it in his voice just now. He said, no, Mike, I don't really need to. And he just wanted to go right back to the car. So let me tell you, I think he would understand this, but it really hurts my back to try and manipulate him and move him as I am carrying his back end. And just that whole thing, it's a lot of work, and you got to be smart. You got to work smarter, not harder when it comes to that. So I'm basically going to let him have his way and not walk him as much anymore and not try. And I think in the end, everyone will be happy. He will. My back will be happy. I ain't getting any younger. I got to be careful. So anyway, that's a cafe anyway. That's the little story that I wanted to share with you about what happened last night. Hey, shampoo. Is it a sham? Is it poo? I don't know. Kids don't say poo in front of your parents. They get mad. Hey, no, we're not going to show that picture. That I was going to share a picture from Lake Merritt. How about this cool little chandelier that you see when you walk into the that Grand Lake Theater? They're very anti-Trump at this Grand Lake Theater. The owner, he likes to put things up on the his marquee that has to say some stuff about Trump, like impeach him or whatever, but I'm going to post this picture because of this cool chandelier. See it now at MikesDailyPodcast.com, and I'm sure somewhere at MikesDailyPodcast.com I have a picture of the wonderful Lake Merritt. But there we go. We have a little Oakland moment for you here at the Grand Lake Theater. So, what do we want to talk about today? I think we should talk about Puerto Rico's feather boa shawls that will be flying off the shelf right now after the Super Bowl. Or would we like to talk about the amazing restorative effects of jalapeno soup? Or perhaps we'd like to talk about how here we are in 2020, trying to get on with all of our resolutions and keep going, and trying to realize that, oh, what is this? Someone in a crazy, overly defensive way saying that they shouldn't ever get feedback on their show, said that my show was boring, basically saying, well, I could be like the Mike Matthews show. Oh, yeah. So as part of my job, I have to give certain people feedback about their shows from time to time. And, well, I gave this one person feedback that this person did not like. And they said, well, I guess I could be boring and do the Mike Matthews show. And I didn't take that really as a jab, or I just said, okay, yes, that's funny. Ha, ha, ha. You know, it was funny the first 18 times you told that joke, but now I'm really done. But the point is, the person was being so overly defensive. And actually, this person apologized to me recently after a couple weeks have gone by. And this person saw the error of this person's ways, this person. So my point is, it's always good to get feedback. Don't take it personally, this person did. But you shouldn't take it personally. It's good to hear things. It may be coming from a complete whack job who doesn't know what the heck they're talking about, and you should just ignore them. But in the end, it's always good to hear back from people. I took it as a compliment when someone would call me up when I was on the radio and tell me I was an idiot or something. And I go, okay, well, thanks for listening, because that's all that matters, is that you're listening. And I don't know, you might be right or you might be completely wrong. Maybe I am not an idiot at all. But the fact is, I appreciate it. Thank you. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Ton today. So always be learning, always be, you know, in our environment, as we walk through society, we are getting feedback. We're looking back and seeing, oh, wow. If we're not, we're being myopic. We're going to run right into a frickin' telephone pole. Kids, don't say frickin' telephone pole. Your kids later in life will get mad at you. What? Wait, no, your parents will. I don't know. This Mike's Daily Podcast is now on YouTube, and kids listen. So kids, there you go. So you can give me feedback at 336MM Daily. That's 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews, Daily as in what this podcast will try to be, unless it gets interrupted. It does that from time to time. You know, the other day, I would have enjoyed some feedback. I should have talked to some of my smart friends that know how to do this and gotten feedback before I attempted to do it by myself. But I was trying to unscrew the trap underneath my sink in my bathroom. And one of the, connectors unscrewed perfectly. It was off. And I go, okay, the other one will as well. So I go to unscrew that. Well, that one is not unscrewing. So I go get a big wrench. I have a big plumber's wrench, and I bent over and did a big plumber's butt crack maneuver to try to undo this connector. I had butt cleavage, and there I was with my big wrench trying to undo this pipe. And there's all this entendre starting to happen, I think, as I'm telling this story. Anyway, I go to undo this it's connected. It's not even moving. And in the process of trying to move the connector to unscrew it, I basically start to turn the entire pipe. The pipe is starting to crumble. Had I kept moving, that pipe would have completely gotten torn off. Luckily, it only made a teeny tiny hole that I then tried to duct tape the heck out of, because I know the process of getting a new pipe in there is going to be expensive and time consuming and going to be a pain in the butt. So one bucket and several chunks of duct tape. And actually, I can tell you what I did. I actually put a little bit of foil around it first, but I don't think that process was smart. That was not a good idea, because it's leaking the water going through. It's the water escaping the sink. So it's not a consistent flow of water. It's just sometimes water comes through there. And whatever's leaking is falling into this bucket. It's going to be an expensive repair. I know it. I'm a homeowner. I got a house that's over 50. It's over 60 years old now. So, yeah. In hindsight, don't get the big wrench out. The big plumber's wrench. Only if you're dealing with pipes and things that are frickin', and kids don't say frickin', made out of, I don't know, reinforced concrete. That pipe, however, is falling apart, so that is going to have to be replaced at some point anyway, because it was falling apart before all this happened. So what am I saying? I'm saying don't be a diva. Don't be a narcissist that's never, ever wrong. You are wrong. Everyone's wrong. That stupid expression, I may not be right, but I'm never wrong. No. Everyone is. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone falls short of the glory of God, as the Bible says. So here's the thing. You've got to just accept it. Ask for forgiveness. If we're going to get really biblical here. And you got to just move on and realize we are all fallible. And we're all persons. And get that feedback back. Take some of that feedback and say hi out to some people here at Cafe Anyway, located in somewhere in the Podcastro Valleyton, the last place on earth. Mike's Daily Podcast. Oh! And this is episode 1978, 1978. Which I remember, what happened that year? Oh, my lovely lady friend was born that year. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. I will do a mind meld with you and make you forget that later. Look who's here right now at Cafe Anyway. 1978. Good gosh. Something else happened that year. One of my favorite albums came out that year. Was that Boston? I think Boston came out that year, the debut album. Okay. Yes. Hello, my friends. This is Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor. Who the heck is Boston? And what's a trap under a sink? These are all good questions, Chely. I know. None of them I care about. You don't care about the answer? No, my friends. All right. My lovely lady friend and I were talking about how I was beating myself up after I was like, I'm so stupid, I made that mistake under the sink. She goes, you can't beat yourself up. That's good advice, Mike Matthews. Does she have a Puerto Rican feather boa shawl, Mike Matthews? No. Look who else is here. Hello, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Yes, Mike, the Super Bowl had a lot of commercials, but the best one was the one with Bill Murray and the groundhog. Yes, the groundhog, Bill Murray. Oh, Kansas City won 31-20. Oh, man. Rats. How do you guys feel about that? Mike Matthews, I didn't know there was a game today. Mike, I'm really sad because I'm Floyd the Floorman. Go Niners. And I really like Kansas City barbecue, so I'll just remain quiet. Well, you two are going to have a fun night. All right. Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. Yes, the Bill Murray one, there were actual people from the original movie in the commercial, and Bill Murray ends up liking driving a Jeep. Oops, I just gave product placement. I wonder how much Bill Murray got paid, though. that is kind of, you know what? He sold out. Bill sold out. But the groundhog was cute. Next show, all those people I just mentioned, Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster. Thank you for listening. Tell all your friends about it. Tell them to go to MikesDailyPodcast.com and tell me what you think. 336MM Daily, 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast will try to be, unless it's interrupted by something, some superfluous life type thing. Thank you.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!